Now we will start our program. رح نبلش ببرنامجنا بأول محاضرة رح تكون عن رح تقدمها شركة الساكسو بانك. Our speaker Mr. Nicholas from Saxo Bank. البرزنتيشن رح تكون عن الساكسو بانك بلاتفورم، البرودكت، الفيجن للشرق الأوسط. How can local brokers progress? Advanced trading, how to build your own trade system. مدة البرزنتيشن نص ساعة، رح تكون مقسمة English language and Arabic. إن شاء الله إنكم تستفيدوا وتستمتعوا، ورح نخلي وقت بعد النص ساعة أو قبل النص ساعة ب5 دقايق إذا في حدا حاب يسأل أي سؤال للسبيكر الموجودين. أهلا وسهلا فيكم، وخلينا نبلش. Mr. Nicholas, you can start please.
Good morning, and thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to come to Jordan and see such enthusiasm and excitement about potential market here. So we're very grateful to be involved in this. So actually I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I think that we live in a very difficult period at the moment in financial services, and I think the key is, what do we need to do to stay relevant in the markets? And over the next 20 minutes, I hope that I can share some insight into what we see across Europe and the Middle East and Africa, and some initiatives that we think are really key to staying relevant in financial services. First of all, I will say I probably should have given this presentation yesterday when there were about double the people. But anyway, for those of you who are here, a little intro into Saxo. Who are we? I suppose we were started 26 years ago by our founder, Kim Fournay, whose vision was to democratize the trading and investment business. What that actually means is to provide technology, to give tools to individuals to be able to participate in financial markets, global financial markets. And for 26 years at Saxo, we've been doing that. And we believe we're very innovative, and we've driven the online market to a certain extent globally. We are a regulated European bank. We've been based in MENA and targeting MENA since 2006. I actually work from the Dubai office. We also have offices in London, Singapore, Tokyo, Prague, and we recently opened a new office in Shanghai, with China being very much a focus for us. We partner with around 130 banks globally. We also have 300 financial intermediaries, and we have direct client relationships in 180 countries. So obviously we are pretty global. We are a global firm. Okay, so what are we seeing? What are some of the trends that we're seeing out there in Europe and the Middle East? Some good news. High net worth wealth grew at the second fastest rate in the past 11 years last year. It's now above 70 trillion. So obviously that presents a lot of opportunities for financial services firms. Cryptocurrencies and ETFs have definitely become a focus across our region, with a lot of demand for these products. We've also seen a huge initiative and change in the way clients want to be managed and want their assets managed. And technology replacing, unfortunately, human beings in investment management is a theme. So we call this robo-advisory. And there's quite an incredible statistic which basically says that something like 50% of high net worth individuals now are interested in having some of their portfolios managed by AI or robots. So this is what we call robo-advisor. 75% of wealth management is now outsourced. Okay, this is a big threat to traditional financial services firms. We call this fintech. Fintech is a new buzzword, but traditional financial services firms, banks and brokerages and fund managers are now coming under threat from these new fintechs, and we'll examine that a little bit further in the presentation. We live in the age of data, and I think we are seeing a huge new opportunity for financial services firms to process and generate revenue from their data. It's a data gold rush out there, and certainly a huge percentage of CEOs now are focusing on what they can do and how they can process data to offer more innovative and faster products to their clients. So these are some of the trends that we're seeing across the region. So I'm sorry for maybe the statement, but the financial services business has become a headache for a lot of players. There are so many now factors that a traditional bank or a broker needs to consider and has to contend with. So here, we've obviously just been through a major financial crisis. What that has meant is a huge increase in regulation, a huge increase in compliance, more capital being required, risk management, transparency. All of these things are, offer challenges to financial services firms. Traditional financial services firms find themselves with old legacy systems and silos. So they're not communicating. They're not able to be nimble or agile. This is a problem. As I mentioned before, we've got increased competition from fintechs. We've got cost and margin compression. We've got increased cost and lower volumes. We've got huge demands from clients. Clients are now, and a big part of this seminar and this conference has been, expanding the ability for the Jordanian financial services to offer more products. Well, the fact of the matter is, clients are demanding more and more. They want access to global markets. They want access to multiple asset classes. They want to be able to do it from anywhere, from their mobile, from their hotel. So this is, again, something that financial services firms have to deal with. I've already mentioned data. Data needs to be now analyzed and utilized. There is a lot of fintech firms who are now beating financial services firms in their ability to understand customer behavior through data. So all of this means there's an increase in complexity and sophistication in the financial services, and that is a headache. So the summary, we believe there are 4 key areas that you should be concentrating on to be able to contend with these factors. One is latency. You, as a financial services firm, need to be able to process more and more and more data, orders, transactions across a wider geography. You need speed. So I put that under latency. You need openness, key. Openness. You need to be able to connect to to different partners, to different venues, to different exchanges. Within your organization, you need complete openness between back office, middle office, front office, digital marketing. So we lump that under openness. Mobility. It is crucial to be able to offer your clients the ability to work and trade and invest in multiple different ways. And we put this under mobility. And then finally, the data. It is really crucial to be having a strategy towards your data, to understand how important your client base and their feedback and the data that they provide you is in terms of defining what you need to do for them in the future. So, in my opinion, again, sorry for the analogy, but I think traditional financial services firms are under pressure and could possibly be killed by 1,000 paper cuts, is my analogy. What I mean by that is, if you don't change, if you don't innovate, you are going to be left behind by new fintech companies coming up, creating and offering innovative products and platforms. The key to staying relevant in financial services today is to partner. If you don't, we believe you will perish. The key is opening, and we call it open banking, having the ability to choose and find partners that will help you on your mission to owning the client and providing the client with services that you can generate revenues from. It's your job in the financial services to own that client relationship. It's not your job to build systems and be a technology firm. And I think this is a big, big change in thinking now. Traditionally, 10 years ago, banks and brokers thought that they had to actually own their trading platform, own their back office. Now there is the ability, and this is the trend that we're seeing, for you to be able to outsource this. You concentrate on giving the client what they need, and you do that with outsourcing many of the operational and platform aspects of your business. I think that we certainly agree, and I think the consensus is that successful collaborators are able to make a bigger pie from the sum of the parts by putting them together than had they tried to build it all themselves in one go. So this is basically how I see it. We have banks and brokers, traditional. What have you got? You've got a broad customer base, you've got an extensive network generally, you've got regulatory expertise, and you have funding. You then have the fintech firms that are coming up. What do they have? Well, they have innovative products. They are fast and they are nimble and they are agile. And they have a distinct entrepreneurial culture. If you put these through together through APIs, you join these two aspects together, what you come up with is so much more powerful. You have basically effective utilization of data. You are able to bring new products to the market quicker. Your customer and your innovation is customer-centric, so it will help you win that relationship, and you will build trust with your customers. Okay, so summarizing what I've just said, we see a real change in the way financial services are being delivered across our region. We see a willingness now from most CEOs to collaborate and to explore, basically explore new products, new services, outsourcing to the cloud. We see this as a real gaining initiative, gaining momentum across our region. At Saxo, we're obviously very much involved in that, and we have been involved in that since the start. We have, and we partner, as I said, with 130 banks and 300 intermediaries. We have three basic models to do that. One is where you have disclosed customers. You would be an introducer. So you allow Saxo to onboard and deal with all the regulatory and KYC and looking after client funds. Another is where you have the regulatory approval to look after clients' whole client funds, and you outsource our infrastructure in a multi-account manner. And then the final way is obviously our full white label solution, which basically involves us providing you with every aspect of Saxo's infrastructure and platform. So basically our business model, we are able to provide a huge amount of liquidity. We are in multiple asset classes. We have over 35,000 instruments that trade on our platforms. We also have a managed portfolio service, and we cover, obviously, global markets. Our liquidity comes from 15 large global banks and 85 exchange and trading venues and a plethora of ECNs. So we are, to all intents and purposes, a huge aggregator of liquidity. The facilitation, we obviously have multi-device, so whether your clients are looking to trade on the mobile, on the tablet, on their laptop, on their PC, we have a platform that can cope with that. One of the huge advantages of the Saxo platform is that you can trade across all of these instruments with one account, and that makes life very much easier. We have our platforms are actually programmed in 28 different languages, including Arabic. We also provide analysis and news feeds. We have fixed open APIs, so if you want to take certain back office information or certain reporting parts, you can actually take these out using APIs, so every aspect of our product can be accessed through an API, so we are very open. And we work in HTML5, so all of our platforms talk in the same language. And distribution, as I mentioned before, we're in actually over 180 countries. We have active traders, self-directed investors, and delegating investors. So we work with numerous institutions across the globe. I'd say the 4 digital ways of working with Saxo. We have a portfolio management service, so we target fund managers with this, which gives an ability to manage multiple accounts, model portfolio, and allocate to different asset classes. We have the Saxo Trader and Go and Pro, which Raed will be showing you in a few seconds, which is basically our fundamental proposition, which is our trading platform. We have full API integration, as I mentioned before, so the open API giving you every aspect of Saxo database, which can be pulled into your own database. And we also have a robo, which I mentioned before, the robo managed account service, which we think is going to become a critical part of the investment management process. So all of this wrapped up in one is effectively Saxo's banking as a service. I mentioned before, we see the cloud becoming more and more relevant in delivering to your client the services that they require and that you want to give them, and outsourcing many of the parts to the cloud. Banking as a service is effectively a cloud-based proposition that Saxo provides, which basically means that you can take any aspect of Saxo you wish and not have to host it yourself. The key, as I said before, is you not necessarily needing to build yourself to be able to outsource. The customer doesn't care whether you built it, whether you own the IP. The customer cares about getting the service. And Saxo's model is very much based on providing every aspect of our banking service to you in a modular format. Just in case you're under any illusion, these are the different asset classes that can be accessed through Saxo. I'm not going to go through all of them, but obviously you can see we are fully multi-asset and cover pretty much every asset class. And by the way, by the end of the year in the Middle East, we will also be launching our fund platform and access. So we're quite excited about that. Okay, so again, to summarize my quick presentation, I hope you found it useful. Basically, we work in very challenging times. There's a lot of threats coming from very different players, and we think there's a very bright future in financial services, in brokerage, in banking, but we think that will be realized by companies being more open to collaboration and partnership, and breaking down their traditional silos and legacy systems. I'm going to hand over now to Raed, who basically looks after our private client business in the Middle East, and he's an expert in our actual, our platform, which is really essentially what Saxo's all about. So thank you very much, and here's Raed.
So just to continue, مرحبا للجميع أول شيء. To continue on what Nicholas he have been through about the challenges, about the technology, about the competition in this industry. Saxo Bank has been in multi-years, through innovation process, and the last couple of years we have introduced new platforms based on new technology, and the first one, the whole focus has been on a clear commercial platform positioning. So different, traders and investors, they have different needs, and you need to have the platform which cater for those needs. So what we have done in Saxo Bank, we have in the middle we have Saxo Trader Go. It is a more simple, user-friendly platform for our retail traders that was introduced 2 years ago. We have for some months ago introduced a new platform which is more advanced and tailored for more active and active traders and institutional clients. And very soon we will have another platform, which is Saxo Investor, which is for the retail investor in cash products like stock and bonds. Beside all of this, of course, we have also the mobile trader, which all of these platforms, they are based on the same technology, and they are connected with each other. So if we go to Saxo Investor for retail investors, so you can see that's a very user-friendly and simple platform where you have your own stock or bond portfolio. You can manage them. You can follow up on the performance of these portfolios on a live time manner. So on that platform, as I said, there are stocks, bonds, ETFs, and mutual funds are presented here. And there is also a very advanced reporting section where you can follow up on the performance of your portfolio. So the next one is Saxo Trader Go. As I said, that's how it looks. Very simple. You have both margin and cash product here. It is a very efficient screen utilization. It's not customizable. This is how it looks, so you cannot customize on that one. But we will come later to other platform, which is Saxo Trader Pro on that sense. You can link between different models, which means that if you are, for example, looking your watch list and euro US dollar, if you click there, it will be updated on the other screen with on the chart or on the other models. They have integrated charting package and intelligent instrument search. So the most innovative thing we have done in Saxo is the Saxo Trader Pro, which, as I said, it was launched for some months ago. And you can see here, you can use it in full multi-screen setup. It is highly customizable, so you can customize on the different layout and models in this platform. There's a lot of advanced risk features here, and it is supported both on Mac and Windows, so you can download them both on Windows and Mac. And we have also the advanced order and position management position. If anybody is more interested to know more about these functions, you are welcome to come in the booth so we can go through it in a more thoroughly way. So what we offer in Saxo Bank, we know different client segments. They have different needs. So what is offered here is, if you want to do it by yourself, then you have both Saxo Trader Go, Saxo Trader Pro, and the Open API. If you need some help, we have the Saxo Select, which is more an automated trading strategies. You still have control over your portfolio. You can decide when to enter, when to exit, and you can monitor your performance. And that is different from the traditional, fund management where everything is offline done. So everything is online here. And or the last solution is do it for me. Then we have the Saxo Portfolio Manager, which Nikki was through this one. All of this in one account, so you can have all of these solutions in one account and through the Open API technology. So if we go to the main platform, for active traders and the institutional clients. We just mentioned some. I will not go through all of these features, but for example, if we take, it is a professional trading platform. It's highly customizable, as we said. It works on Windows and Mac. You can adjust the column, dragging of columns, ducking of models. There is a new instrument finder. There is advanced trading tools, so a new trade ticket with more advanced functions. You can use algo orders in your trading, for example, on CFDs and equities and futures. There is also the depth trader with level 2. This is something new in this new platform. And there is the time and sales. There's another good features here, which has been also introduced in this platform, where you can close your position in one go. So you put them in one ticket and then exit your position because the market is moving fast. You can also choose between if you want to net your position real time or end of day. The default, which was on the old platform, that everything is done end of day, but now you can choose to make real time netting. The last thing, or also there is in the risk management on this platform, there is a lot of more advanced features where you can make a breakdown of, let's say, if you are holding different CFD and FX positions, you can see the margin utilized on each position, so you can manage your portfolio in a best way. There is account shield, which means that it's a kind of stop out on the overall account balance. For example, if your account value drop to 80%, you can put a stop loss order on the whole portfolio. And the last thing is the margin alert, where you can put push messages. For example, if your margin reach 50% or 60%, then you start receiving an alert about this. The last thing is it is the reporting section. There is a lot of reports section about your performance, about your portfolio, about your profit and loss. So that's all included in the new platform. All of this in one account and without any cost. So I will end my presentation here, but you are welcome to come to the booth if you need any further information. Thank you very much for your attendance.
شكرا جزيلا لساكسو بانك على السيشنز القيمة. هلا إذا في حدا من الحضور حاب يسأل سؤال للسبيكر موجودين معنا، في حدا حاب يوجه أي سؤال؟ ما في؟ تفضل.
Good day, sir. Just a simple question, closely related to what we talked about yesterday. Are you regulated to work in the Jordanian market? Can Jordanians open accounts with Saxo Bank? Do you have the regulation to do so?
I'll take that one. Thank you for your question. So we are not regulated by the Jordan Securities Commission. We're as a Dutch bank, we're regulated by Danish regulatory authority. We're also regulated by the FCA in London. We operate, as I said before, we have clients in 180 countries, and we have regional hubs. And in the Middle East, our regional hub at the moment is in Dubai. We do not market here in Jordan directly to individuals because we're not regulated. But if an individual wants to find Saxo, they always can. So they can approach us and open accounts. And we obviously are very much in the B2B space, which is absolutely regulatory fine. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. في حدا؟ yeah.
Good day, sir. Can you please clarify more on the Saxo Select platform?
Yes, certainly. It's definitely one of the exciting new products we've brought to the market. So we have teamed up with various global fund managers who are pretty well known, ranging from Morningstar, NASDAQ, BlackRock, and Saxo itself. And so basically Saxo Select is an intelligent piece of technology that enables a client to invest in his Saxo Select account, so to deposit money, and then choose a strategy run by any of those fund managers. And basically the fund manager does the rebalancing and stock selection, and the Saxo Select tool mirrors that and rebalances the client portfolio on a monthly or a quarterly basis. So what it means to a client is that you're basically getting a global fund manager to effectively run your money for very minimal cost and with minimal commitment in assets. If you were to try and approach BlackRock or Morningstar yourself as an investor, they would say, if you've not got 100 million in the bank, go away. And with Saxo Select, it's giving you the ability to have their fund management selection been mirrored with a minimum of $30,000.
سؤال آخر؟ إذن هيك بننهي الجلسة. شكراً جزيلاً. Thank you so much. وشكراً طبعاً لحسن الاستماع. وهلا رح يكون في عنا السيشن الثانية مباشرة، رح تكون الون فاينانشال. السيد يزن شقفة هو اللي راح يقدم لنا اياها لمده تقريبا برضه نص ساعه. واي سؤال بتحبوا توجهوه او بتحبوا تحكوه للسبيكرز هم موجودين في جناح الساكسو بانك في المعرض. فاذا كان في اي حدا بحب يحكي مع السبيكرز هم موجودين بجناح الساكسو بانك للساعه 6 تقريبا. شكرا جزيلا، يعطيكم العافيه.